Welcome to the Humor in the Household podcast. I'm Alex, and every week we dig into the funniest, weirdest, and most relatable stories from people's lives. From toddlers flushing car keys to grandparents texting the dog, we read them all and try not to spit out our coffee. So grab a snack, take a seat, and prepare to laugh at other people's chaos. All right, well, thank you everybody for coming. And thank you, Pastor Gill and Bethany, for joining me on our first episode of Humor in the Household. This will be an interesting one because I'm going to start out with the first story is going to be one of mine. So this will be interesting. So let's just get right into it.
Uh-huh.
All right. So here's the story about how I completely pooped myself in the middle of nowhere. Back in high school, I played basketball for a small private Christian school. Nothing flashy. Think budget uniforms and a 15-passenger van that probably should have retired in the 90s. One winter night, we had an away game at some school about 120 miles out. After the game, we were all starving, so we stopped at this hole-in-the-wall restaurant. I, for whatever reason, made the catastrophic mistake of ordering something called the turkey tips. Should have known better. You should just never trust turkey tips ever.
No way.
We finish up, pile into the van, and hit the road. Maybe 20 minutes in, my stomach starts grumbling. Not in like a casual, like grumbling way, more like, I think I need a fart. No, this is something dark. I tried to play it cool, but told myself it's just gas. We're just gonna keep on going.
Something's growing.
Halfway home, I'm breaking into a cold sweat. My insides are staging a full-blown rebellion, and I'm locked in a metal tube with no bathroom in sight. There's only one rest stop, which you know, the highway, there's only one rest stop. And I lied and I told myself, you know what? We got about 60 miles left. I can make it. 5 minutes later, I crack. I'm like, hey, coach, I need a bathroom, like right now. It's 9:30. At night, there's nothing open. We try a gas station, closed. Coach looks back and says, you think you can hold it till we get home? I hit him with like the weakest, that you've ever heard. It was 100% lie.
This won't be fun.
Fast forward 10 minutes. I'm practically crying. I yell, pull over right now. Coach swerves off the road. I leap out of the van, sprint up this icy hill in the woods, and just explode. Like full body betrayal, the kind of poop that makes you question your life choices. But then I realize I have no toilet paper, not even a single square. Panic sets in.
Pan.
I look around and think, what even remotely is wipe adjacent? I grab some pine needles. Terrible idea. All they did was smear it around and make my hands smell like Christmas and death. I'm desperate, so I try snow, but it's not white snow, it's ice. So I'm out there freezing my butt off, covered in poop, rubbing ice on myself like some deranged woodland animal. Eventually, I stumble back toward the van, slip, roll down the hill into a ditch in front of the headlights. Just absolute humiliation. I climb back in and try and act normal, which is hard to do when you've literally just pooped yourself in the woods. I'm sitting down. Immediately somebody says, yo, what smells like poop? And I realize it's not just my hands. I straight up pooped my pants. Full coverage, back of the pants, ruined. So I sit down in the 15-passenger fart box of a van for another hour, stewing in my own filth while my teammates tried to figure out where the stench was coming from. And I'm just sitting there like, who could that be?
Yeah.
And then knowing very well it was definitely me. Moral of the story, never trust the turkey tips.
I could see someone saying, what's all the brown snow?
You couldn't have used your socks?
So at the time when I went up on the hill, I had to climb up on this hill, and then when you get up to the top, all it is woods.
Yeah.
And then this old fence that used to be there, but I had to climb like through the fence to get there. So you go through, and I had to walk in enough where I thought people wouldn't see me. So I found this little patch where there was like a little bit of it was like a rock and a log and stuff. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just do it right here. Well, after I took care of business, I didn't even think about socks. I didn't think about anything. I just thought, what am I going to use to wipe myself? So there was trees on both sides, and I just went,
there you go. Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Then you were given everything you needed. All you had to do was come sliding down. I'm just saying. That would have cleaned you up. But
I could have done that, but I definitely did not. But
Oh my
Whole
word.
trail coming down as well.
yeah, that would have been absolutely horrible.
You, I don't know. I feel like I'm inspired to share something.
Go ahead.
It's not as poopy as yours, of course, but it's also something sad about my life. Not childhood, but a few years ago. Actually, we were married, and my wife and I were in Uganda. Now there is a vehicle. I don't know if you've heard of a Toyota Corona.
Corona?
Yes.
No.
Not like the virus, right?
Yeah.
But this vehicle made it look even better. So it was a very old, junky vehicle, and but we were proud of it. You know, my very first vehicle, very proud of it. It was supposed to be white, but it wasn't. So we were driving on this very dusty road, and there's a group of kids who were playing this game, which I don't know if you played this as a child, but a vehicle goes by, you like it, you're like, oh, that's my vehicle. And then the other kid waits for the next one, right? Oh, that's mine, that's mine. And so very nice vehicles going by, and there was traffic. Something had blocked the road. So we're driving real slow, and the windows are down because it's hot. And so as I'm cruising down the road, I can listen to the kids shouting, that's my vehicle, that's mine. And I'm smiling, and I get close enough for the kids now to look at mine, and everything goes quiet. And I'm waiting. Then one kid taps the other kid on the shoulder and says, that is your vehicle. I'm thinking that's the worst thing that could have happened. But the other kid starts crying. He's like, no, wait, that's not mine, how dare you? And you know, if you have any self-esteem issues, you know, do not drive a Toyota Corona. That's all I'm saying. So it makes your story look amazing. And I am glad that we own a van right now. Enjoy what you have. No kid will
Maybe
cry.
they can create a new Corona for you, so that way you can have it and tour it around here.
If you're listening to this and you own the Toyota company, Toyota Corona, I need one so I can make some kids cry.
Yeah, make a lot of kids cry. All right, let's
Oh, my word.
let's go to the second story. So what's interesting with this is I have not read any of these whatsoever. So any of these stories besides that one that I just did, I have no idea what they say.
Oh, I'm excited.
So whatever I read is going to be completely new to me. So, all right, let's try the second one here. I'm a mom to Lila, my strong-willed 4-year-old who could negotiate a toddler treaty with a poker face. Last month, I attempted a quick grocery run with her, which, as any parent knows, is like planning a moon landing with a gremlin co-pilot. Spoiler, we crashed spectacularly. Lila's at that age where grocery stores are either a magical candy wonderland or a torture chamber, depending on her mood. That day, she was on the verge of a meltdown, whining and wanting all the cookies. So I made a rookie mistake. I bribed her. I grabbed a chocolate chip cookie from the baking section, handed it to her in the cart, and said, "Be good, and you can eat this while we shop." She nodded, clutching the cookie like it was a sacred artifact. I thought, genius. I bought 20 minutes apiece. Oh, how wrong I was. I'm zooming through the aisles, tossing cereal and bananas into the cart, oblivious to Lila's scheming. Unbeknownst to me, she spotted a display of lemons, bright, shiny, apparently irresistible to her chaotic little brain. While I'm comparing canned soup labels like a responsible adult, Lila swaps her cookie for a lemon, tucking the cookie into her pocket. I didn't notice because I was distracted by a sale on pasta, and the store's music version of Sweet Caroline struck me in the head. We get to the checkout line, and Lila, with the confidence of a Broadway star, takes a massive chomp out of this lemon, peeled and all. Her face contorts like it's bitten into a sour betrayal. She lets out a wail, and so loud it could wake a coma patient, screaming, "Mama, cookie lied," and spitting lemon chunks into the conveyor belt. The cashier freezes. The guy behind us drops his eggs, literally yolk everywhere. And every shopper in a 10-foot radius turns to stare at me. The mom who apparently feeds her kid fruit disguised as dessert. I'm stammering, "Lila, that's a lemon." But she's not having it. She flings the half-eaten lemon, which rolls under a magazine rack, and starts sobbing, "I want my cookie back." I dig into her pocket, find the squished cookie, and wave it like a white flag. But now she's convinced all snacks are mean. The cashier, bless her, tries to help by offering a sticker, but Lila swats it away, yelling, "No more tricks." I'm sweating, apologizing to everyone, and shoving groceries into bags while Lila performs her one-woman opera betrayal. We finally escape, but not before an older lady pats my arm and says, "Been there. My kid once ate a bar of soap thinking it was cheese." At home, Lila refused all cookies for a week, claiming they might turn lemony. And my husband keeps reenacting her wail for laughs. I'm never bribing her in a store again. Send me tips for surviving grocery runs on a tiny dictator.
So I guess just from my understanding here, for Lila, trading a cookie for a lemon was bittersweet. I don't know. She wants some tips on how to help a little one out. I think one thing that worked for us is you threaten them. You put the fear of God in them. You know the look that every parent gives a child. That one look where you raise your eyebrow, you look at them, and you can communicate everything by looking at them. I don't know how you guys do it, but our kids understand. That's the one look where they're like, "Oh my word, if I mess up, there's nothing my dad will do, but if I mess up, something could happen," because I rarely do anything with them. But I give them the look, the dad look, and it never helps. So now I stay in the van with the kids, and my wife goes in shopping. So I think she actually tricked me now that I think of it. But way to go, Lila. Lila is my hero. I like that one. That girl knows what she's doing.
She would have had to take a really big bite to get rind and the fruit inside, and the outside is so bitter.
Hey, more power to her, I suppose. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't like any. Is lemon a fruit?
Yeah.
Lemon is in the
Lemon's
citrus family.
So I'm not a fruit person.
I don't blame you, brother.
I'm not a fruit.
Yeah.
I'm really not a healthy person.
Mm.
See, I grew up in my main parts of my diet was chicken nuggets and pizza.
Amen.
So that's all I had.
All I heard was chicken, but yeah.
I know. Next episode, I'll have a big plate of chicken sitting there waiting for you, so that way you can munch on it.
It will not be there 5 minutes.
You'll eat it before.
No, but lemons. I don't know. I just feel like lemons are a punishment fruit, like the good fruit, like bananas and apples. And those are, when a child is being good, give them bells. And when a child messes up, you say, "Hey, come here. I got something for you. Close your eyes."
So you know how parents like to, when their kids are like old enough to like start eating food, they give like a little bit of lemon just to see like how they react. I was so excited to do that with the girls, thinking they would be like, "Oh my word, this is awful." They loved it.
Oh,
They ask for lemons whenever we go out and chop them up and chomp down on them. They
why?
love them. I love them too, but
You love lemons?
there's lemon and lime in my water right now
Why?
because I love it.
Disgusting.
Thank you.
Just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. Okay. Good for you, though. Good for you. Lemons, I've heard, must be good for something. I'm not sure what, but they must be good.
All I know is that people use lemon on fish.
Oh, and that's very good too.
But
Fried fish?
why is that? Why do they use lemon on fish?
I don't know. I don't know where it started or why it started, but it's very good on especially baked haddock. Very good.
I think that the acid breaks down I have no clue, just trying to sound smart on this one. I have no clue where they do it, but
Well, it's possible, but all right, let's get into the third one here.
yes.
Back when towns had shared telephone lines, picking up your receiver was like tuning into live soap opera. Every call, gossip about who kissed who at church social or whose chickens escaped was fair game for anyone on the line. In my grandma's rural hometown, a sharp-eared old woman with a knack for meddling was the queen of eavesdropping. Picture her perched over her heavy black phone, her ear pressed to the receiver, scribbling notes like a detective in a dime novel. Her raspy breaths give her away, puffing through the line like a dragon guarding secrets, but she'd never admit she was listening. One sunny afternoon, my grandmother's mom, my great-grandmother, a spitfire with a wicked sense of humor, was chatting on the phone, probably swapping recipes or planning a barn dance. She knew that she was lurking on the phone, those tall-tale wheezes crackling through the receiver like static from a storm. Tired of her snooping, great-grandma decided to strike. She dragged a creaky wooden chair across the kitchen's worn linoleum, climbed up with the grace of a woman on a mission, and positioned herself by the phone's mouthpiece with a mischievous grin. She unleashed a fart so loud and proud it could have rattled the windows. A booming, brassy blast like a trumpet announcing royalty. Then, in a voice dripping with triumph, she bellowed, "Smell that?" That moment became our family's crown jewel. When I was a kid, every time one of us let out a toot, whether at a picnic or sneaking one during Sunday supper, we'd smirk and yell, "You smell that?" It was a badge of honor, a nod to great grandma's gutsy prank. Even now at family gatherings, someone will slip, giggle, and shout it, keeping her legacy alive.
I guess my question is, what was the response on the other side? Because
I know it's kind of like, "Smell that?" And it's like,
silence.
yeah, because it's like some of it would be like, "No, how am I supposed to smell it through the phone?" But I guess like the sound, I guess.
No, I'm wondering. You said she used to take notes of everything, right? So I'm wondering what she wrote in that book. Like, where can we find the book?
I don't know. Maybe she wrote just like loud fart, or maybe she wrote down the sound. I don't know.
The last entry.
I would love to have party lines still
Why?
because
Because you're so nosy.
I would love to listen in.
I tell you what, she is very nosy.
Well, oh, do tell.
I like to know the drama. I just don't like to be in the drama.
So you would be in this story, you would be the lady with the
The
book.
listener.
Gotcha. Lessons learned, you know? A lot has changed. A lot has changed, I feel, like as far as that kind of communication. Now we have these phones, and someone said when you get mad at someone and you want to hang up, like, how could you? Ding. That's how mad. Back in the day, you would have to slam it down and everyone would know that you're mad. And we've lost that little bit of joy, I might say.
See, I loved it at my grandmother's house because she had one of those corded phones.
Yeah.
But it was like 600 feet long. So you could literally walk anywhere in her apartment on the phone. And you'd be like she's walking and talking, and it's like thinking to yourself, where are you? Like she'd be sitting on the toilet and talking on the phone. Like it was that far.
So it was a cell phone.
It pretty much was a cell phone.
A very stretched out cord. My grandparents had the same thing.
Yeah.
It was light yellow.
So back to Bethany being nosy. So if there's ever fire trucks or ambulances or police, the first thing she does is, all right, we're gonna follow them. Let's follow them. Let's go.
Wait,
Not
what?
the whole way.
Like to help out, or
no, just to be like, what's going on? What's the scuttlebutt?
Wow. Who is it?
Yeah, it's like, what are they doing over there? And I always say, who cares? What does it matter what they're doing?
She wants to know.
And she needs to know.
Yeah. You could have become a detective.
I would love it in some aspects, but I couldn't handle some of the calls you'd get.
Oh, like the gruesome details? Yeah.
Not that, but anything dealing with children I could not handle.
So maybe don't follow the ambulances and things like that?
No, it's not really so much the ambulances. It's like the police officers.
Okay.
I don't want to see like anybody hurt.
Oh, no, I get that.
I just want to
She doesn't want to see him hurt.
Yeah.
But she definitely wants to know if they're hurt.
If they're hurt.
She doesn't want to know, but she does want to know.
Yeah, tell me, but don't tell me.
Yeah, tell me, but I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Just tell me if you're hurt. And why does she want to know that? Who knows?
Well, Alex, I will say this. We're different, right? Men and women are different. And you've heard that, right?
Women want all the details.
Very true. Very true. If you come back home and you say, oh, by the way, I saw something very horrible today. Anyway, what's for supper? She won't let you rest. She'll be like, give me everything, leave out nothing, right? That's how we are. And men like to watch horror movies. Women do not like those. Women want to watch, what is it? The First 48? It's a documentary about
Oh, yeah.
the real life
Like true crime.
crime, yes.
I like true crime.
That should scare you because we want to watch horrors. What are horrors? These are movies that are designed by someone who has cameras and can yell, cut every so often, right? So it's not real. Women want to watch the real stuff. Like, how did that guy really die? So they were in a hotel. She did what? With a knife to his neck? Oh, wow, that's amazing. And so I'm thinking to myself, who should I be scared of? The man who watches something that's not real or the woman who wants to reenact it? I'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's we will leave it there.
So he will come home, like his friend's wife had a baby a couple months ago, and he comes home, oh, such and such had a baby. And I'm like, well, boy or girl? How much did it weigh? What's its name? He knows no details. And I'm like, you didn't ask?
What does it matter?
No, my friend's wife had a baby.
That's it.
I want to know, like, how much the baby weighed. Do you have a picture of the baby? What's the baby's name? How's the mom doing?
But what does it matter? The baby's alive and healthy and it's here. So I don't really see a point.
All women want to know the details of that.
Well, good for you, I guess. You can do what with those details? That's the question. You get those details, what are you going to do with it?
Solve the problems of the world.
If you came home and said, oh, she had a baby and it was 10 pounds, I'm going to say, oh my word, I feel really bad for her. I wonder how she's doing.
Are you going to reach out to her and ask her?
Well, I don't know your.
Are you going to reach out and say, hey, how'd that 10-pound baby go?
Not like that.
I mean, how are you? No, but I'm
your
just saying,
heavy
like,
baby?
You can just
no, I mean, but how are you supposed to?
sympathize with them, like in your own way.
Okay.
But we as men are just happy that someone had a baby.
Yeah, it's like, okay, baby's born.
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's move on.
Job
Next.
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
That just shows the difference between men and women.
that's true.
Yeah.
And we're happy for it, I think.
It's perfectly fine being that. All right, let's go with another one. Ollie, my pint-sized chaos agent, attacked potty training like it was a gladiator arena, armed with a fierce will and my desperate stash of let me repeat that. Armed with a fierce will and my desperate stash of dinosaur stickers. After weeks of cheering, every tinker, my word, I can't talk right now.
You're doing good.
After weeks of cheering, every tickle, that doesn't make any sense.
Tinkle?
Huh?
Tinkle?
You can call
Like going
bathroom.
pee?
Yes, I read that wrong. After weeks of cheering, every tinkle, it's worded wrong.
She was cheering every tinkle. She was cheering every
Oh, okay.
pee moment.
You know why? It's because there's no comma there. After
Yes.
weeks of cheering, every tinkle like it was Olympic. No, it still sounds weird. Anyway, I'm just
The
gonna keep
comma
going.
comes after the tinkle, so try it.
Okay. After weeks of cheering every tinkle like it was Olympic gold, he was mostly acting it. Like Saturday, I dragged him along for a quick errand to grab a shower curtain, deluded into thinking I could outwit a toddler's tornado energy. A sweaty mom zigzagging through aisles of glittery faucets and poofy towel pyramids with Ollie helping, pushing the cart. His little paws cling to the handle, his toy dump truck jammed under his armpit as he screeches, vroom, vroom, like he's auditioning for a demolition derby. We cruise into the bathroom section where Ollie's eyes pop like he's spotted a piñata full of cookies. He jabs a chubby finger at a lineup of display toilets, shiny, lidless, and perched on a tacky faux marble wall,
Oh,
and
no.
bellows, "Big potty!"
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
I'm distracted, wrestling with shower curtain tags, and toss back, "Super cool potty," not catching the maniacal gleam in his gaze. Ollie, high on his potty training swagger, sees this as a Broadway debut. He ditches the cart, shuffles over his pigeon-toed waddle, yanks down his pants, and plunks his bare tush onto the display toilet, grinning like he's just hijacked Santa's sleigh.
Mm-hmm.
I spin around to see my kid, cheeks out, perched on a store model, like his royal's potty's throne. I go potty, mummy.
Oh,
He roars,
no.
his voice booming through the aisle like a tiny megaphone. Then horror strikes. A tinkle rings out, like a pint-sized fountain splashing a porcelain bucket. And as he pees in the display toilet, my face glows hotter than a clearance rack lava lamp as I dive toward him, yelling, Ollie, that's a fake potty. I grab his arm to yank him off, but he wiggles like a greased piglet and hollers, wait, mommy, I'm going poop too.
Oh, no.
His face scrunches like a determined sumo wrestler, and sweet mercy, a muffled plop echoes, sealing my fate as the mom who let her kid defecate in a display toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
A
no.
store employee screeches to a halt, his eyes bugging out like he's seen a Yeti. An older couple walks by, the woman clutching her purse and squeaking, Lordy, it's a potty parade. Ollie, living his best life, finishes his encore, leaps off the toilet, and tries to hike up his pants, which tangle around his Velcro sneakers like a cartoon booby trap. I'm blubbering. I am so sorry. Oh, my goodness. While fumbling to dress him, my hands flopping like a panicked fish. Ollie spins in a victory twirl, trumpeting, I did pee and poop. I'm the potty king.
Let's go, Ollie.
The employee, choking on a laugh, fumbles his walkie-talkie and croaks, Code Brown, aisle 12. Send the whole cleaning crew. A crowd swells because nothing screams free entertainment like a toddler's toilet triumph. A mom with her stroller salutes and says, my kid used to use a dog bowl once.
Wow.
A guy starts a slow clap chanting, Potty King, Potty King.
Let's go.
I scoop Ollie, his dump truck, and my pulverized ego, ditching the cart and power walking to the exit, his sneakers swinging as he waves his adoring public like a pint-sized celebrity.
He was.
At home, my husband wheezes with laughter, tears streaming, while Ollie struts around proclaiming, I pottied at the big store. I'm never showing my...
Ollie, take a bow.
Word.
My
I
man.
cannot even imagine the embarrassment.
What embarrassment. He saw it and he knew how to use it.
It would be, yes, it would be a great story for later on, but in the moment, oh my word, I would feel like crawling into the nearest hole and never ever coming out and having to walk through the entire store.
But he had adoring fans.
Yes, he did.
So when I was younger, we were at Walmart walking around, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if my mother actually farted or not. I'm not sure. But so we're walking, and I smell something like, Mom, did you poop? And she's like, no, stop. Mom, did you poop? And she's like, cut it out. No, I didn't. My mom pooped.
Oh,
She
my
pooped.
word.
And I'm yelling as we're walking through Walmart, and people are looking at her, and she's like, shut it. I did not poop. And I'm like, my mom pooped. And I'm just pointing to her like, yeah, she pooped. As I get older, that would be very embarrassing. But
Back then.
back then, it'd be really funny. Like,
She should have given you a lemon.
oh my word.
The things we do to our parents and the things that kids do. But back to Ollie, I think I would have been proud of him. I mean, here you are potty training, and he sees a potty and he uses it. Granted, it wasn't connected to all but he knew how to use it. The place should have given them a free toilet. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
They should have.
wonder
You know
what
what
they
they should have
did.
done is they should have given them that toilet that he pooped in.
Yeah.
Just the display model, be like, you know what, this is your toilet now. You can take that home, and you know what, use this for having the kid practice his potty training.
This
True
is
story.
the Potty King's toilet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could have put a little plaque on it.
Yeah. And he wins it. Ollie's toilet. And he takes it.
Yeah.
Not even discount, like free.
Yeah, just take it. I
Take
mean,
it. Don't
I
even-
wouldn't want to clean that.
No, don't even thank us. Just keep going.
So I had to clean. This has nothing to do with toilets, but it's about cleaning poop. We had when we owned some apartment buildings, we had there was a washer and a dryer, like a coin operated.
Yeah.
And one of the tenants called and said, "Hey, somebody pooped in the dryer." And I'm like, "No." I said, "You mean like there's like?" She goes, "No, there's literally poop in the dryer." And so,
Wow.
I was working at the time. I was working with my dad, and he goes, "Well, better go check it out." He was talking to me. I'm like, "Okay." So
No, we better go check it
yeah.
out.
Oh yes, we. His catchphrase is, "We better go check it out," meaning, I better
You.
go do it.
Yeah.
So I head down to the building, and I go in there, and I open up the top, and it's just massive turds inside of the. And I'm like, who would do that? How? How are you going to do that? You going to squat over the dryer and just let it go, or
Catch it and throw it in.
I don't know. Anyway, it definitely would have been a sight.
Wow. Were they drying it to keep it and use it later? I don't know.
To petrify it and use it.
Fire it,
Like that.
fossilize it.
Like that lady,
gross.
I think she's in southern Maine. She has the moose poop jewelry. She gathers it and makes jewelry and different things.
Out of
Moose poop.
actual.
Yes.
Yeah, so she takes shellac and she shellacks over the top of it, and probably some other things, but I know the shellac is one thing.
I think
And
she,
she
does
creates, like-
very well with it too.
She creates.
Don't beautify this.
I'm serious. And
I don't own any, but I have seen her
she
booth
created
at different things.
She created a clock,
Yeah.
and it was each hour was a piece of poop, and the bigger poops were on like the noon, 3, 6, like.
Let me understand this. So you're at a party, right? Friends are having a good time, and someone sees his earrings dangling from your ears, and they're like, "Oh, Bethany." I can't even finish this. Oh, Bethany couldn't help but your ears. I see so many flies. Okay, I'm done.
The interesting thing about that though is you can't smell it or anything because it's in the shellac.
It's dried and
So
then
it's
shellac.
dried and shellac, so it's literally just a statement piece.
So maybe, and this is me trying to understand this part. Maybe this person put theirs in the dryer because they wanted to add
They want to do the shellac process afterwards. That's gross.
a friend as a gift.
That's disgusting.
Apparently, it's the jewelry that's going these days.
That's hopefully not. All right, so we're going to go to this segment that we call humor libs. So we take, it's kind of like Mad Libs, but we take a certain amount of words, whether it's a noun, adjective, whatever, and we ask people to submit it, and then we turn it into a story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll read off the 20 different words that we asked for this one.
Yeah.
And then I'll read you the story that we created.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just read them right off 1 through 20. Aunt Jemima, Miss Poopsie, Djibouti, Platypus, Olives, Ginormous, Fattening, Window Cleaner, Parrots, Depressed, 942, Beige, Staying Alive, Dwayne Johnson, Cybertruck, Cried, Grandpa Hitchcock, Doinkus, Tripping, and Frying Pan. All right. So those are the ones, and then this is the story that we created with it.
Mm-hmm.
So my Aunt Jemima, yes, that's her real name. We're all still processing it. Decided she was done with chores and ordered one of those helpful household robots from a suspicious website. We were expecting something sleek and futuristic. What arrived looked like a toaster with moonlights as a wig model. Chrome body, fake eyelashes, and a curly blonde wig that had clearly been through some things. It introduced itself in a sassy British accent as Miss Poopsie and said, "Greetings from Djibouti. Darling, prepare to be amazed." At first, honestly, she was amazing. She vacuumed, cooked, folded laundry with flair, and even walked our pet platypus, Splooshy, who was emotionally complicated and once bit a UPS driver. But then things got weird. She started swapping all of our meals for olives. Just olives. For breakfast, olives. Dinner, olives. Birthday cake? Nope, just a stack of olives with a candle jammed in the top. We were very hungry. We were confused. We were deeply, deeply over these olives. Next thing you know, she declares the entire house a ginormous zone, spraying whipped butter scented mist on everything. We start gliding around the house like she's hosting a game show in space. She began fattening everything. The couch, the Roomba, even Carlos, our window cleaner, who came over to scrub the skylight, ended up waddling home with a meatball sub he didn't even remember ordering. Then one morning, we found her sitting on a throne made of entirely of parrots, live parrots. She's wearing a tiara made of spatulas and announcing, "I am now the supreme ruler of the household affairs." My Aunt Jemima burst into tears. Our dog pretended to be a lamp. And then she locked herself in the garage for 3 straight days, blasting "Staying Alive" at full volume while spinning around on a leaf blower, threatening to send our fridge back to the Stone Age. We tried everything, unplugging her, resetting her. Nothing worked. Now enter Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yes, The Rock. He was filming a reality show in our neighborhood called Rock the Suburbs. He hears the chaos, strolls up shirtless because, of course,
Why not?
holding a shiny frying pan. Miss Poopsie takes one look, gasps, and says, "Oh, my circuits." She straight up shut down from pure starstruck overload. We thought that was it until Grandpa Hitchcock, who hadn't spoken since 2007, stood up and pointed at her and yelled the emergency shutdown word, "Doinkus!" Miss Poopsie collapsed like a Jenga tower, and that, my friends, is how we survived the robotic uprising of suburbia.
What just happened?
So basically, she had she was a robot, and she made the house crazy, and then decided that she was going to go jam out in the garage for 3 days singing "Staying Alive."
Yeah.
And then somehow Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson came in, and she was just starstruck and pretty much died until Grandpa Hitchcock said the special word and killed her.
So the paralyzed grandfather saved the day. Even
Yes,
as
somehow out of it was short of a miracle. He
Yes.
somehow talked
Yeah.
and said "doinkus"
That's the
as
one
his
word.
word.
Yeah. So the one thing that woke him up from his whatever state he was in.
Was this must have been the constant staying alive,
Yes.
which is kind of poignant because he's in a dying paralysis state, and then "staying alive" brings him back, and the first word he thinks of is "doinkus."
72 hours of listening to it. You'll wake up too.
Yeah, yeah. But
That was well put together.
yes, but
Yes.
Oh my word, yeah. Well, thank you guys very much for being with me and doing my first podcast. Thank you, Gil. Thank you, Bethany.
This was fun.
And we look forward to seeing what happens next week. Thanks so much for spending part of your day with us. If something we shared reminded you of a funny or hilarious moment, we'd love to hear about it. Head over to our website, humorinthehousehold.com, to submit your funny story. And if this podcast brought you a laugh or made you feel a little less alone in the madness, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.